We're here together just weeks before Christmas Eve. And so we share with one another, yes, the gifts, the tree. Some of you may have put your tree up right after Thanksgiving. Others may be still waiting for that time that you might have a day off and can celebrate with the family. Well, I'm sure, though, that all of you bought everything that you needed for Christmas, right? All the gifts are already bought, wrapped, and, yes, ready, hidden in the house. I know, I am not even near that. But I want to read a passage today from Philippians 4, verses 4 through 7. And I've got two translations I want to make sure you understand and hear. One I share with you from the Common English Bible. It says, "Be glad in the Lord always. Again I say, be glad. Let your gentleness show in your treatment of all people, for the Lord is near. Don't be anxious about anything. Rather, bring up all your requests to God in prayers and petitions, along with giving thanks. Then the peace of God that exceeds all understanding will keep your hearts and minds safe in Christ Jesus." That may be a newer translation, but let me share through an older translation that we may have heard early in our lives. "Rejoice in the Lord always, and again I say rejoice. Let your gentleness be known to everyone, for the Lord is near. Do not worry about anything, but in everything by prayer and application, with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God will surpass all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." We get anxious during these times. And our patience and our gentleness is not there. Sometimes when we go to a store and we're looking for something and we can't find it online, or it's out of stock, or it's too expensive. And then we think that then there is not the joy, or yes, that time to be glad or to rejoice. We get more angry and frustrated, and sometimes even like anxious, as this passage says, that we should not get anxious. The gentleness shown in your treatment of all people, don't be anxious about anything. But it's hard. It's hard in this time and in our lives because it is so full. I hope that in this time, as we approach not just Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, but as we approach the new year and we continue to live through COVID and all that the unknown for us, that we will look at this passage and see where God calls us to rejoice. Not in just the things of this world, but rejoice in the Lord. If we focus and look at what is really important, it's not the gifts, not those things that are quick fixes, but that we rejoice in the Lord always. And we'll turn to our prayers and supplications. Supplications for me means that we are honest. We share with God what is really in our minds and hearts. Even it can be selfish sometimes. But we share, we're transparent, and we let God know what's on our hearts and in our minds. I pray that as you prepare for that Christmas Day or opening on Christmas Eve of those gifts, that you will begin by giving thanks to God. And you may need to shift, yes, as my mother always said, stand up, your posture needs to be straight. That we may shift our posture in our minds and our hearts, that we may give thanks to God, not for the gifts under the tree, but for the one that was born in Bethlehem, the one that came not just for us, but for the whole world, and that we may rejoice and be glad in it. This is my prayer and this is my hope, that we will gain this perspective in our minds and hearts, and that we will rejoice in the Lord always. And again, God says, rejoice.